Well, we got the Tiger motor here on the lift, and we're going to work on taking the rocker boxes off and removing the Bonneville head off of here and seeing what kind of condition we got going on here. The Tiger head is at a machine shop right now, getting the valves reworked, and we'll be getting it back in a few days, hopefully, and we'll see what we got ahead of us here with this motor. So thinking and hoping it's going to turn out okay, because it did run before we tore it all apart, so we'll see what happens here. So there isn't much here to take apart with these rocker boxes. We just take these nuts out. There was one here, and there's one on each end here. Remove those, and then we take these two big head bolts out here, and then we remove that bolt there, this little bolt right over here, and the one over here. And then you can see what it looks like inside here. So stay tuned as we take this apart. So yeah, here we go. We got this one about ready to come off here. You gotta remember to keep these kind of tight, the bigger ones tight, kind of, because they're under pressure with the valve springs and the push rods. So, and these little 1/4-inch bolts here, they can't maintain the strength that the springs are pushing on with. So you gotta use these larger bolts to help hold it down while we get the smaller bolts and nuts off. So dang, this one's like not enough room there for a back box end. So then here I am with the freaking open end wrench trying to get it off. There, now I got it cleared. Okay.
You must have this loose and start to come up already.
Yeah. So these are a little bit looser than they should be, but wow. Just gonna fight me all the way, I guess. Because of that. Probably because I had to back these big ones off too far. But live and learn, I guess. There we go. Now we can take the big ones off.
Well, why don't you let me get this done before you bash into my head?
There, that one's ready to go too. Go.
Where's the rubber hammer?
The little green one? All right.
Yours is coming off. Mine's not.
Gasket's messed up, but we got different ones, I guess.
We got new ones.
So
somebody's replaced a push rod.
So far looking good in there.
No.
What in the heck?
It is not looking good.
Oh yeah, we got problems here. Look at this guy. This is bent. Well, it was running. It must not have been running very good.
Right. No, actually, good.
So, yeah.
Not running right.
We need a push rod for sure. One at least. And
Where's the rubber hammer now?
in the drawer down there. So let's see what the other one looks like here.
Oh my gosh, look at that one.
Oh, that one's been beat to death. Well, the cup's missing in that one. They're supposed to ride on them little balls right there. They're made into
Goodness.
That's
I'd say
bad.
we need a complete set. This one here's been bashed into.
Yeah, I would say that's almost bent too.
Yeah,
So
they clash. We need a whole new set.
a new push rod set so far. So, well, stay tuned as we tear this thing apart some more. We'll find some more awesome things, I guess. Not so awesome things. All right, so these head bolts are only supposed to be about 15 foot-pounds, and they're way over torqued, which can damage aluminum when you over torque stuff. So hopefully this head ain't damaged. It'd be nice to have a nice Bonneville head sitting around for my, for spare for the other 71 Bonneville I have. But yeah, so these are actually the head bolts. This other bolt that went in the top, it held the rocker box on into this bolt here. So we have these 4 here, this one in the middle, and these 4 outer ones.
Yeah,
So
it's a 9-bolt.
So yeah, 9-bolt. 750s ended up having an extra bolt put here later. The 750s. The difference between a 750 and a 650 is they reduced the stroke by about 1/4 of an inch, and the bore ended up being bigger, right?
Yes.
So
1 fin shorter.
yeah, like 1 whole fin shorter.
750s are.
And yeah, that was mainly when in about 73 when the 750s came out, and because they had problems with this 71 because it didn't quite fit in the frame right, so they were having a heck of a time on the front production line trying to get the frame in the motor, or the motor in the frame, I mean, sorry. And they had to actually remove the rocker boxes to get them to go in because the frame changed in 71. Kind of made a major hiccup for the production of it. So they had to think outside the box and take it apart and put it back together again. So, well, stay tuned. We're about ready to pull his head off. All right, we got a couple bolts left to take out here, and then we will be ready to remove the head. All right, so like I said, these were over torqued, and you can tell, like when you over torque aluminum, there's a dish, like a shiny spot here, and it's almost like pocketed now from it on almost all of these. So this might clean up, but this isn't what you want to do with the, don't want to over torque stuff.
Yeah, you don't want to tighten it like you're Barney.
Yeah, so just maintain to the torque spec of the book, and like it said, 15 foot-pounds for the head bolts.
15 to 18.
15 to 18?
Yeah. Okay, wait.
All right.
These push rod tubes got to come out.
All right. Yep, that one came with it.
Well, don't let it.
All right.
I got a white one up in here. That's different.
We're hoping that we have good borers here, so.
Oh, the pistons look nice.
So far, I've not seen anything damaged anyway.
Oh, there's a wedding band. This one didn't have one.
Okay, so the wedding band here is like a seal device that's for the push rod tube, and this one was a different. It's like they got a different kind completely. So we got 2 different push rod tubes in this motor.
For some reason.
It's like it got painted at one time while I was while I was in the bike like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, stay tuned here. Okay, so we're gonna turn this over a little bit, check it out. But as of right now, it doesn't look like any rings are broke. It's kind of like got some, probably from sitting around, but there's a little bit of some brown right through here. I don't feel nothing. This bore over here is really shiny. But I think we're gonna decide to take the head off, or the cylinder assembly off of here, the cylinder off, and see inside what the crank looks like. And we'll decide from there if we need to do any sort of ring changes or anything like that. So maybe pistons too. We'll see. Well, that'll decide when we take this cylinder off. So stay tuned here. Yeah, we're gonna end up taking the cylinder apart. There is some. I can feel some lines in down here. Maybe from where the rings were sitting for a long period of time. Yeah, so we'll end up maybe we'll probably end up having to like hone this and clean it up and put different pistons in, because when you do that,
Rings, at least.
it rings for sure, depending on how far out we gotta go.
Well, it depends on if it just cleans up with a hone.
Yeah.
New rings.
So we're gonna work on taking the cylinder off. So stay tuned here, and you'll be able to see inside here in a minute. Start at the top.
That way we got. Yeah.
All right, we're gonna pull this off here.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
I want to break a fin. There it goes. Now wait a minute. Now the other thing we got to do is we got to tie these lifters together. Otherwise they fall out and go down inside. So what I want to use is this tie.
You just wrap them around there and hold them together.
Right in the groove. Yep.
That way they don't fall through.
So we don't fall out. O-ring works too. There. There. Small left hands, huh? There we go. Okay. Okay. Now I want you to put a rag down inside of there. Two rags. Wait a minute. Make sure that rag is not dirty.
Right, sure. Okay.
I want to make sure that there's a broken ring. We don't have pieces falling down inside the crank.
Alright, I got it covering pretty good there.
Okay.
Alright.
Ooh.
Yeah, there's some scoring on these pistons.
Ooh. Yep. Well, so much for you reusing these pistons. This is not good. The pistons, the rings weren't set up right either. See there? They're supposed to be like, and see, this one's probably pretty damn close. They're supposed to be 120s apart in all three places. This is a one-piece oil ring.
Yeah,
where's the gap on it? Over here?
Yeah.
See, they're all too close. Since these two are here, this oil ring one should have been way over here.
Yeah, and these are like, these gaps are like,
These are almost lined up.
boom, boom.
So compression would have been leaking through there.
Yeah, 120, like gap here, gap here, gap here. So, yeah, well, this is why we tear stuff apart, I guess. So I guess we're just gonna figuring out what our pile of parts we're gonna need here, but we'll keep going at this motor in here, clean it up, and get it ready for some new parts. So, stay tuned. Well, this pretty much ends this segment on the assessment of the motor here. We got all tore apart. Next step, what we'll end up doing is we'll end up cleaning up some of these parts, like the rocker boxes and stuff. We'll put this motor in the frame. Now that we got the frame back, it's ready to come over here to the lift now. So I'm gonna put this lower part of the motor in and start putting it back together, and then we'll work on the pistons and stuff when it's in the frame. It'll be easier to handle and work with. So we did come across some damage that had happened to the rocker boxes from the push rods. It gouged it in there. We might be able to. We should be able to reuse these rocker boxes, but hopefully these rockers are okay. But this one got gouged up too. See that? Right down in there. So, anyway, that's how it goes. So, hope you enjoyed this, and see you again soon. Alright, so as it sits here, the Tiger motor is all tore apart. We've kind of like assessed and went through everything here that we've been tearing apart off this thing. We've came to the conclusion here that we believe that these rod bushings here are out of spec. So that's gonna, it's not really a devastating blow to the motor, it's gonna involve more work. So what we'll end up doing is we're gonna having to split the cases, get in there, remove the rods, and put new bushings in or different crank or connecting rods. Also, when we were going through here, we found some problems with the rocker boxes, where down here in that area there, the push rods came unengaged with the rockers here and gouged into these rocker boxes at one time in its life. After having the pistons off, we've also noticed on this one connecting rod here that the hole for the oiling is missing, and it's actually misaligned. Can't really see it very well in there maybe, but it's over here in the front a little bit and not in direct orientation with this hole. So there was an oiling problem, and the tops of these rods are really dark. I have not seen that before. My Bonneville did not look like this after having that many miles on it. And yeah, we're going to end up having to hone out this cylinder for sure. And you saw the pistons. The pistons are streaked pretty bad, and you can feel all them ridges in it. So we're going to need a new set of pistons and rings. The orientation of the rings were all off. We saw that earlier. We had bent push rods, a couple of them. In fact, we have one different push rod than the other three, and then one of the three, this one here, is missing a whole chunk where the socket part, where it engages the tappet block here. So, of course, we're not going to be putting this head on, so we're going to set it off to the side for a spare part down the road someday, and get the Tiger head back. But we got some work to do here in this motor, so stay tuned here as we gonna start tearing this motor farther down. Didn't really want to do that, but it's kind of like we're gonna have to. We don't want to put it together kind of messed up and not good to go and not reliable. It's gonna be a reliable motorcycle for years to come, and spend a couple extra bucks here to make it right. I didn't want this really to be a hack job restoration. So anyway, like I said, just stay tuned here and we'll just keep working on this thing.